This is what really annoys me about progressives. We have been talking for 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years about the change that we want to see. We're talking for so long about how the scales are rigged against us. The system's rigged against us. The rich own too much, we own too little. The whole system's rigged. Our children can't go to college. We can't get health care. We're dying out here because the cost is so expensive. We're dying. We're struggling. We're starving. We need change, and we need it now. We talk all the time about it. We're right. Of course we're right. Of course the scales are tipped against us. Of course the system is rigged. The Princeton said the United States is an oligarchy. It's literally what a Princeton political science study said. They said we're an oligarchy. That's how messed up the things have gotten here in America. That's how rigged the system has become. We get all that. We're right on the policy. America agrees with us on the policy. Great. But because the system is so rigged, just sitting back behind a screen, just sitting back and yapping and talking and talking a huge game, saying the right words, that's not going to cut it. That's not gonna cut it. Not going out to vote is not gonna cut it. Not showing up to protests, not showing up to get out the vote initiatives, not rallying, not doing sit-ins and demonstrations, not being out in the streets, being on the front lines of change. That's not enough. That's not enough. And look, man, I understand, I really do, that it's hard. It is difficult. We have lives. The world sometimes beats you down. We got lives. We got stuff to do. But understand something, bro. You will never see the change that you so desperately desire. This is what you're saying. You'll never see it we don't get out in the streets and show that we're willing to fight for it. Now, I'm not talking about a revolution. I'm not talking about a revolt. I'm talking about organization, consolidation, and mobilization. That's what I'm talking about. Because look, man. The only way we're going to see real change in this country, and this is increasingly becoming apparent, the only way we're going to see all the change we love to talk about. Oh, we want Medicare for all. We want universal health care. It's a shame that we are the only country in the developed world not to have health care. Blah, 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 blah. We talk all the time about the progressive issues that we care about. Immigration reform, Medicare for all, tuition-free college, all of this stuff. We talk about it, right? And we dream about it in our own little chatterbox. But the only way that we're going to see that change is a mass mobilization. That's the only way. And what do I mean by mass mobilization? I'm talking about millions of people in the streets fighting, yapping their mouths at the top of their lungs, screaming the power that we will not relent until we see the change that we've desired for decades. We will not relent. We will not take no for an answer. That's what it's going to take. Now, I'm not talking about a revolution. I'm not talking about some armed rebellion. I'm not talking about something out of a Karl Marx manifesto. No, I'm not talking about that, man. But what I'm talking about is learning the lessons from the past movements. Civil rights movements, right? The women's rights movements, right? The gay rights movements, right? The farmers' rights movements. All of these mass mobilizations in this country that saw change from those mobilizations, they had enough passion and anger and emotion behind them to get all of their constituents out in the streets fighting, protesting, rallying, demonstrating, showing power that they will not relent. Using their right, the constitutional right that we have to assembly, to speech, to protest. We have that constitutional right. So let's use it. We should get 1 million people out to Washington. protesting for climate action. We should get 1 million people out in Wall Street protesting for Wall Street reform. We should get 1 million people out to the sites of the worst mass shootings in our country talking about the need for gun reform. We should get people out to the headquarters of insurance companies talking about the need for universal health care. We should get people right down to Capitol Hill talking about the fact that it is a disgrace that in this country, people are going literally tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt because they wanted an education. That's how you see change. Mobilization, organization. That means making calls to all your friends and all your buddies, spreading the word throughout social media. That means getting involved. And I know it's hard. I really do. We got lives. We got to go to school. We got to go to our workplace. We got stuff we got to do. We got to take care of our, if you got kids, whatever. I get all that, man. But there comes a time when you have to say enough is enough. When you look around at the world and you see who's really to blame for the crisis that we all are going through. When it comes to paying our bills on time, when it comes to paying your rent, when it comes to keeping your head above water, when it comes to seeing your family members thrown in jail, seeing your family members die because needlessly. We're seeing all this stuff, this oppression, this disaster happen on a daily basis. And there comes a time when you have to say enough is enough. We will not take any more. We will mobilize. We will demand that you listen and that you listen to our cries for peace and equal opportunity and justice and freedom, and you act and you institute the policies that we've been screaming for decades. And the only way you're going to see that, the only way you're gonna get the change we've been talking about for so long is a mass mobilization. Get out in the streets, protest, rally, demonstrate, sit in, strike, all across the country. That's what it has to be. Because by then, our leaders will see that their corruption will no longer be tolerated. They will not be reelected. They will not be able to commute to work. They will have the whole system shut down if they don't listen to us. That's what it has to take, bro. But we got to get angrier. I think that's the central problem. People aren't angry enough. They aren't fearful enough. And they're not placing the blame in the right places. Politicians have succeeded for a long time talking about, just sowing the seeds of division. Trump is the king of it, but Democrats are the king of it as well. Talking about how America's just so divided. And then a lot of times it is. But they tell you that you're divided so you can go ahead and pick a side. They tell you that we can't get anything done because we're so partisan, because they want you to be part of the partisanship. So you can fit into one of the molds where you can either hate Trump or you can love Trump. Right? Where you can either be a Democrat or be a Republican. You're on one side of the fence or you're on the other. Because they realize that if you get out of this little political gamesmanship, if you get out of the crap and get out of the mainstream media chatterbox, you realize what's really going on. So people aren't putting the blame in the right places. They're not. They're blaming it on this, they're blaming it on somebody over here, blaming it on this immigrant, blaming it on this political leader, whatever. You blame it on the system. Blame it on the whole system. Not one party, not one politician, the whole system. That's where the blame should be. There's been a crisis of leadership in the last 40 to 50 years across all levels of leadership. They have rigged the game against us to the point where they are spending billions of dollars in dark, unaccountable money, but even in legal bribery as well, in shifting away the priorities from our needs, our issues, towards crap that enriches the elite class of this country. It's fundamentally rigged. Fundamentally rigged. And it's time that you wake up to that. All of us wake up to that and use the anger that you feel of that. The powerlessness that you feel, the hopelessness that you feel, and channel it into something that is tangible, that is real, that catches headlines, that catches the attention of the people who are rigging the system against you to begin with. So when they realize Enough is enough. I can't keep going down the track that I'm going down, or I'm going to be out of a job. I'm going to be on my ass. They will drag me out of the office if they have to. Unless I pass Medicare for all, unless I fight for tuition-free college, unless I fight for immigration reform, and to save the planet. All the issues that we care about. But you won't see it unless you care, unless you realize how messed up the system is, and most of all, you act. So I implore all of you, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you claim you're on. It doesn't matter if you're conservative, liberal, progressive, moderate, Democrat, Republican, Green Party, independent, whatever. Whether you're blue, black, brown, purple, gay, straight, a tree, I don't care. You get out and you realize that all of us are being oppressed under the might of a rigged system. And it is time that we use our voice, our collective power as a people, to get out in the streets, millions of us, and stand up for what we believe in. That's the only way we change the oppression that we're seeing. The only way. So I implore all of you to take action, and now. Thank you.